Sirach 33:4 says, prepare what to say, and so thou shalt be heard, and bind up instructions, and then make answer.
That's it. So, it's always about having everything ready. What we do, we got to have it already preset. So as soon as we do that, when you're dealing with people, they like fish. The Lord called us fisher of men, so you got to go. Hey, you got to put the bait out, and then people, they'll bite. It's going to ride by. If you ever been fishing, that's how it is. I done threw plenty of bait out. Some days they just don't snag. You know what I mean? They might be full.
Sometimes they might nibble on it and keep on going. Yeah. Some of them they take the bait, lead a rod. Taking the bait, leading the rod, they're still planting the seed though.
Let's actually pull that one in. My brother could grab Mark 1:17. Just so we can have it quoted.
This is Mark chapter 1, verse 17. And Yahushua said unto them, come ye after me, and I will make you to become fishers of men.
Go ahead.
And straightway they forsook their nets and followed him.
That's it. So, the apostles, when the Lord came to them, they was actually fishing fish. You know what I mean? They said, look, if you follow me, I'm gonna make you fishers of men. Yeah. So what they did was instantly they dropped their nets. They left everything. You know what I'm saying? That's kind of equivalent to this truth. Like when the Lord calls you, everything that you was doing prior in life, that comes secondary to this. Right. You know what I mean? And they was out there with their pops. That was their job. So you later go on to the scriptures. They asked Yahushua, said, Lord, we forsook all. And what are we gonna have? You know what I'm saying? So he told him, you get the kingdom. So there's even a reward for leaving these things behind, man. It's just about, does this resonate with you to that level? Because they didn't question the Lord. They didn't say, well, hold on, they just straightway dropped their nets and then they went on. You know what I mean? Anything over there?
Now, what was that one where it said that all the other disciples left?
6, and we can start at verse 60 maybe. Shalom. You have it listed as pre-camp on there too?
Shalom. This is John chapter 6, verse 60. Many therefore of his disciples, when they had heard this, said, this is an hard saying. Who can hear it? When Yahushua knew in himself that his disciples murmured at it, he said unto them, doeth this offend you?
Right.
What? And if...
Well, this, we can stop right there. Yeah. And if you could skip up, try to keep it in context, through spirit, just skip up to the point. But Yahushua, the thing is, when he says certain things, the Lord, when you really read the scriptures, he never just plain out gave somebody an answer. They would ask him something, and then he would tell them in a parable, And that's why he teaches like that, because he said the mysteries of the kingdom ain't for everybody. Certain things, I say, either going to offend you, or you going to ponder on it and it's going to resonate. Yeah, so many of the people that was with him, they was deep, but at one point, Yahushua was breaking things down to them, and they got offended. All right? You got to,
we get straight to the point.
Yeah.
This is John 6 and 66. From that time, many of his disciples went back and walked no more with him.
They walked no more with him, man. Because certain things, as information comes out through the spirit, you're like, I like this part, but then it comes to something heavier, and it's like, well, I don't agree with that. And what they do, they left. You know what I'm saying? They Yahushua cry and try to get them to come back. No, let's keep on going now.
God. Verse 67. Then said Yahushua unto the 12, will ye also go away?
He asked me that. Number 18.
Then Simon Peter answered him, Lord, to whom shall we go? Thou hast the words of eternal life.
That's it. So where we supposed to go, man? We gonna go back to what we were doing in the world? Brothers forsake everything but the Lord. So now you have the words of eternal life. Because ain't nothing in this world that this place can offer us gonna give us, you know, what's of the kingdom. So things is like fleeting here. You know, everything's temporal. You know, that's the difference between what is eternal and what is forever. Like Satan could give you gifts. Hey, he told you, I wish I gave you all the glory of all the kingdoms. You know, but you gotta look what happened to all the great kingdoms. What happened to Rome? What happened to Greece? What happened to Babylon? Yeah, every kingdom that fell. You know, and the glory of it. So now the glory of this kingdom is what? Bugattis. You know what I'm saying? Watches, but that's why they come out with a new version every year. We just talked about them J's. It's the same damn shoe.
Every fucking year,
It's the same shoe, just another color. And then guess what? Next year they're gonna come up with a next one. Because that's what Satan gotta do. It's always, you know, temporal. It fades or loses its value over time. But the things of the Lord, and they forever.
Right.
So he said what? Let's go back to that one more time.
God. This is John 6:67. Then said Yahushua unto them, unto the 12, will ye also go away? Then Simon Peter answered him, Lord, to whom shall we go? That hast the words.
Thou hast the words. Go ahead.
God, thou hast the words of eternal life.
That's it. So, you know, the things about eternal life is everything is forever and ever. You know, so our rulership never ends. Shit, you can get a kingdom. You know, all these spirits might recycle, they might be king, and they get right back on top, but they lose it. But the thing about the kingdom of heaven, it says they reign forevermore. You know? So whatever God gives you as a blessing, it'll always last, you know? Is that it on that? Gonna ride by. You know what I'm saying? It's spiritual.
This is his kingdom. You know, and we speak this all the time about, like, when you in your kingdom, you gonna flex. When we was in our kingdom, we flex. You know, we go to sing a song of Solomon. You know, Ezekiel was at 16 through 18 when the Lord said He gave us all this. We was flexing, man.
I remember you showed me which one was specifically. You said that we always kept with the requirements and changes.
So we was doing the same thing. We just in
Appreciate it.
We was at a higher place.
now we're at the low. Let's see. And we believe and are sure that thou art the Christ, or Hamashiach, the Son of the living God. Yahushua answered them, have not I chosen you 12, and one of you is a devil?
Yeah, that's it. That was a point on that, you know, because you had Judas that was following them, but Judas ain't really believed. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah. So when you look, that's the whole thing though with Yahushua's teaching. He was always sifting people. You know what I'm saying? Like what he said in that prior scripture, that made a lot of people leave. But I mean, you know, Judas was still around. I didn't mean he necessarily believed either. So it was just like the closer you get to the Lord, you know, the less people that's around you. You know,
that's the same way with the Lord's Prayer. Eat of my flesh and drink of my blood. That offended some, man. You know, they were offended because he's like, well, you know, when you're looking at eating of the flesh, you like, hold on, man. You know, or drink of my blood. That's gonna have a lot of people like, man, I'm not, you know, I'm not doing that, man. You know, so that's the pushback that our people have. Offend, as the brother said, offend. That's an offended.
Say something like that, they definitely don't feel that.
Yeah. I mean, you can tell. I mean, you can. That's a difference between us. I was thinking about this before. Kemp. You got people who teach. The covenant, right? The blood, but it's the love, 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 love.
Yeah.
But then when the prophets come out here, they got the love, and then they got the prophecy. You know what I'm saying? So when we come out, we can have Yahweh Shah Jesus Christ on the board. But then when you start seeing missiles come over, now it's gonna be like, hold up. I thought the Lord was about love. You know?
Yeah.
Like, nah, like the Lord is love.
That is love, though.
You know what I'm
That's what I
saying?
had to interpret to my rear. Gotta let her know, like, man, everybody know that the Lord is.
Austin. Yeah, man. Yeah, Austin.
And with that, man,
That's what
So
speak
right.
about. That speak about the pounds. Go ahead, bro.
Let's say if we could pull that Malachi 1 real quick.
God.
What's going on, brother?
How y'all doing?
What's up? Well, I was talking too early.
God.
But yeah, so just real quick on the point, that the brother brought out. Even the Lord destroying our enemies is love.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They look at that as hate. You know what I'm saying? Because we showing them the destruction. Well, let's go ahead and prove that real quick, brother. Malachi, we can start at verse 1.
Malachi 1 and 1.
Yep, 1 and 1. Just read it on down. Or so you can start at 2.
God, this is Malachi chapter 1, verse 2. I have loved you, saith the Lord Yahweh. Yet ye say, wherein hast thou loved us?
That's right. Go ahead.
Was not Esau Jacob's brother? Said the Lord Yahweh. Yet I loved Jacob, and I hated Esau.
That's it. So the Lord said, I love y'all. What's the proof? He said, I loved Jacob and hated Esau. And what did he do to Esau to show that he loved us? Keep going.
Come on. And I hated Esau, and laid his mountain and his heritage waste.
That's it. He destroyed them. Wiped them off the face of the earth. So that's God's love towards us. That right there is hate to them of this world. But that's really the Lord loving us. So, for example, right? You in nature, and you see a lion and his family.
Yeah.
Or let's flip the script, right? We gonna be the prey, and they gonna be the hunter. You know what I mean?
That's the reality.
So you got a lion in his family, and then you got Esau the hunter. He come through shooting at, the cubs.
Yeah.
All right. Now when Esau get jacked up by the lion, everybody like, oh, that's messed up, man.
Yeah,
nah,
yeah.
that's the lion protecting his pride.
Yeah.
protecting his family.
Yeah.
Well, that's how the Lord is for us. You got it.
I would say that's how they do in real life. That's the same way like they do with I was from barbershop.
Nah,
But cause I got to thinking about how they did Mike Vick, man.
Okay.
Yeah, like how they dehumanized him. They care more about the dogs than they did him. He wasn't even the one who was solely responsible. It was just on his property. Like, try to blame him.
Probably pull Sirach chapter 12, verse 10. Go ahead, keep speaking, bro, on that,
I was just saying that they always that stems back to the slave times too. How they devalued us, they treat us worse than cattle and stuff. That's why, like what we doing right here, right now, how everybody keep looking. I ain't gonna lie, I'm ready to have it.
Well, that's the thing is they're not used to Jake standing bold, man.
Yeah.
That's why we bring out Wisdom Solomon 5. As a matter of fact, just pull that real quick, Wisdom Solomon 5. Because we standing boldly.
5 and what?
Start go ahead. 5 and 1.
Then shall the righteous man stand in the great boldness
Yeah, you
before
gotta speak down on that one though.
Then shall the righteous man stand in great boldness
Uh-huh.
before the face of such as have afflicted him,
Yep.
and made no account of his labors. When they see it, they shall be troubled with terrible fear, and shall be amazed at the strangeness of his salvation, so far beyond all that they looked for.
That's it. Is that right there?
So I mean, they are looking at us in amazement, man.
Yeah.
Because we're standing up. They thought we was gonna stay asleep forever, man.
Right.
You know,
That's
and
what
I'm
they
saying they is the Joe Six Packs. Well, the one who are above, they knew that we was gonna eventually wake up.
Right.
You know, and that's the reason why they're doing all this stuff rapidly to try to do what? Change the prophecy, which they can't do it. But hey, the Lord's still gonna make their minds do it as if they can. You know. But like you go back to what you were saying with Mike Vick or any of our people, you know, that's what happened when you conform to this world, though. You know, but when you conform to this world, then you have to take on the thing that they have you to do. Once you get to a high level, man, you know, now you're taking on the roles of Satan, man.
Yeah.
That means you have to do what they do, or they'll just snatch everything for you. That's why, like, even we speaking about like the Lord. When the Lord give you something, you know, the Lord gonna give it to you. He ain't gonna take it away.
Right.
Except, you know, if you disrespect Him with the Holy Spirit.
Right.
But the Lord, when He give you something, man, that's the blessing that He gives you. Esau give you something. If He don't like what you do
With it.
hey, He gonna take it away.
Hey, real quick too, because that's I want to go into this. Could you pull Psalms 124? Or matter of fact, you bring out Psalms 124, and if you could, Shalom, grab Isaiah 42:22.
Which one?
Just start at verse 1. We're gonna go basically the whole chapter.
122.
124. You know, just going into the fact of, you know, us basically doing this is calling on the Lord to help us. You know, when we go out into the highways and the hedges, you know, that the Lord looks down on us. Says, all right, hey, they waking up, they calling on Him. You know, and this is also that you know, we could wake up other brothers, get the elect sealed, and bring forth the end. That's it. Let's go ahead and pull that, brother.
Psalms 124.
Yep, verse 1.
If it had not been the Lord who was on our side, now many Israel say.
Now it says, now may Israel say.
Now may Israel say, if it had not been the Lord who was on our side.
Now boom, right there, real quick. He said, if it had not been for the Lord on the side,
right.
It says, may Israel say.
Right.
So he's saying it so that way we can recite this.
Right.
You know, this should be your mentality. This should be your mind. If it wasn't, let all of Israel say, if it wasn't for the Lord, hey, what? If He wasn't on our side, what would happen? Go ahead.
When men rose up against us, then they had swallowed us up quick. When their wrath was kindled against us.
Hey, that's it. Now, what is that? You go to the book of Revelation, chapter 12, and I think it was verse 12. It says the dragon came down with great wrath because he knows that his time is short. You know, so when we go back to 70 AD, right? You know, Esau came and he destroyed Jerusalem. You know, why? Because he saw that he couldn't accomplish his mission. He wanted to stop our king from being born. Okay? Let me see. We're just gonna break this down, right? This is Revelation chapter 12 and verse 1. It says, and there appeared a great wonder in heaven, a woman clothed with the sun and the moon under her feet, and upon her head a crown of 12 stars, which is what? The nation of Israel. All right, the sun and the moon being under our feet, being the knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, being subdued by us, man. Because we understood that the Messiah was coming. You know, we understood all these things. And it says, and she being with child, cried, travailing at birth, and pain to be delivered. You know, so the Lord likens us in captivity, right, to a woman that's in labor. You know, when she's in labor, she's trying to bring forth deliverance. That's the Lord coming. You know? So when we get persecuted as a people, when we cry out, that's birth pains. What did it say? Verse 3, and there appeared another wonder in heaven, and behold, a great red dragon, having 7 heads and 10 horns, and 7 crowns upon his head. And his tail drew the third part of the stars of heaven, and did cast them to the earth. And the dragon stood before the woman which was ready to be delivered, to devour her child as soon as it was born. You know, so when you read in the gospel, you know, it talks about how Herod knew that Yahweh was about to be born. You know, 3 wise men came, said the Messiah was about to be delivered. He said, okay, well, bring him to me. You know, now was it because he wanted to worship him? No, he wanted to kill him. Same thing with Moses. When Moses was born, they started killing all the children, man, because they know, just like all our enemies know, that a Messiah gonna rise up one day. You go to the FBI, they had COINTELPRO.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's why they try to kill all our leaders. Try to not blackmail, but you know, it's like even the street leaders trying to. That's why they ain't like Larry. They ain't because they understand the power that we know.
Now that's the thing, is anybody who threatens their establishment, their system, they gotta kill them.
Yeah, they gonna offer.
And how much more Yahweh Shai when they say, hey, it's the king of the Jews is being born. So there's like, hey, put everybody to death. They start killing all the children, you know, and that's nothing new. Even in these times, they know that the elect is gonna wake up, right? Can you pull Obadiah, the last verse? You know, they got these scriptures. They know what they're talking about. They know the 144,000 in the book of Revelation is going to show up. All right.
It's funny too because like people on the inside of the book say that they gonna all come together to fight the war. But it's already like United Nations. We don't know the UN. So bro, it's all part of the process. The United Nations is literally that.
It's fighting down. Yeah, well, remember the book of Genesis with Babel, the Tower of Babel. So they want to have one people.
You
know, and do away with the Lord. But this is creation, you know.
Right.
No, go ahead. Speak.
I was gonna say that's similar to the AI shit that they be trying to do. Everybody's saying right there, AI putting our conscience into one thing, making us all one.
Yep.
Think about it, if we all become technology and the way they got a hold on it, that's how they gonna know your thoughts, keep track of everything. It's just control, bro. That's all it is, control.
But the Bible says he wants to be as God.
Right, I remember saying that.
So that's why, like, you know, they know where you at. See, that's the whole thing with the microchip. They put that microchip in you. They know where you at. They know your thoughts. They know what you spend. You connected to the system. So if you give yourself over to that image and you conform to it, then they're your God.
They can control you, you know. Everything that you do, stop and go. You know, you talk bad to them, they cut your car off. You know. Everything that we try to do to resist what he's trying to do, he's gonna cut it all off. That's why we speak about Revelation 13 and 16 so much, is because we understand that once he started to try to shift and cut the system off for those who resist and for those who conform, what he do? He leave it on and they conform to what? His system. Yeah. Or he gonna leave you out for dead. You know, it really boils down to Esau and Jacob. You know, Esau was famished. You know, he just came out from like going hunting, and he wanted something to eat. And Jacob would tell him like, "Nah, man, it ain't finished yet." He's like, "Man, I don't care." Like he said, "Well, give me your birthright." He said, "I can care less whether or not you get my birthright." So basically, Esau just trying to get his birthright back. That's the whole thing of all the stuff you see going on in Israel. All that stuff is because they try to get their birthright. They're trying to show that the world that they are the true people. But as we said, I think we did it at a couple of lessons ago. We speaking about everybody has a lot, you know, a position. We speaking about what Jacob is the head tribe. You know, I mean, it's like Judah's the head tribe. You know, no matter what, it's already written who he is and what position he holds. You can't turn it. Well, Esau, he tried to turn his position into
twist things upside down.
Yeah. That's why when they speak on these things, they want you to make them believe that they are the ones.
Yeah.
You know?
Why all the people of like important people in a lot of like deep movies, they always like depict them as like
Yeah.
like movies of power, like when we talking about X-Men, Dr. X,
Well, he would.
I know, I heard
Yeah.
it was Dr. I heard it came Malcolm X, but you know, like I said, like they try to depict them as Esau themselves.
Yeah.
That's what he always do in all his movies. He becomes Jacob, he becomes Esau, like he everything. He Ishmael, you know, he everything in the movie.
Or even in X-Men or movies, they try to depict all the people they do. How you gonna think of Africa?
I mean, he everybody, but who he really is, you know, we know he's Esau, Edom. You know, he comes from the Caucasus Mountains, from Russia, Caucasus.
All they do is take nothing out there. From Romans to the Greek,
Yeah.
from us. I mean, a lot of their ideas.
Let's pull that too. The Maccabees out. They start to paint their likeness.
You still with that over there?
Yeah, we gonna go to it, but I want to pull this real quick. We gonna bring it all the way back to where we began. First Maccabees.
First 3.
Sorry, well, yeah, just go straight to the point.
First Maccabees 3:48, and laid open the book of the law, wherein the heathen had sought to paint the likeness of their images.
That's it. So what happened was, we ended up taking our stuff back. You know what I'm saying? And that's the times that we're in now, is reclaiming everything that's ours, because they stole everything.
Come.
All right. Yeah. They stole everything, man. So we got to go back, take our artifacts. You know, you seen Black Panther, man. You know, he went to the library. He said, "Which all this ain't y'all's, man. Y'all done took this."
Yeah.
So even when it comes to this knowledge, it comes to knowledge, it comes to the scriptures. What we got to do? Say, nah, this is our book. You know what I'm saying? Because they'll take it and it said the heathen sought to paint their images. Why the hell you doing that?
Right.
Because you trying to say that that ain't really talking about y'all. Esau got a whole history of that, and I think that's what the word iconoclasm goes into, right? The destroying and defacing of images, and basically they paint it and say that it's them. So when we open up the history book and they talking about Egyptians, come on, man, you know Egyptians in the ancient world crunchy black, man. And then you got Esau, no beard on, with a pharaoh cap on, talking about he King Tech. You know what I'm saying? Like he do that with everybody.
They only depict us at the bottom of the totem pole every time they're.
So there was that movie Exodus.
Yeah.
Exodus, and it had Christian Bale in it. You know, he's supposed to be Moses, but then all the Egyptians is white, Moses and the Israelites is white, but the slaves was still black. It was crazy. Like, come on, man. So that today, that's their modern version of that scripture.
Right.
You know, is they trying to reface everything. You know, hide us. What's that in Job?
Yeah, Job 9:24.
Job 9:24. Let's pull it. You know, up a shot. That's why even like books like the Maccabees, like they don't want us reading that. You notice it ain't in.
Yeah, right.
Because even us reading into this, it makes you say, hold on, like it's a conspiracy going on. There's something that's wrong.
There's something wrong.
You got it.
This is Job chapter 9, verse 24. The earth is given into the hands of the wicked. He covered the faces of the judges thereof.
That's right. Who's the judges? The Israelites. So the world has been given over to the evil. So you see the wicked rule on this earth right now. You know, and one thing they do is cover the faces of the judges. They hide us. You know, they'll literally. I think it was some of them cathedrals out in Europe. Like you walk by, every one of them got lights on it. You know what I'm saying? They have this saint that was around in 500
BC.
AD.
Yeah.
You know, they be like, oh yeah, that is Pope, whatever. He cool. They got his light. Then you go over here to this one. This light is off. You look closer, man. It's Jake. They got pictures of us. You know, actually colored right. You know what I'm saying? So they'll cover up our faces, man.
Yeah.
You know, hide who we are. You got it. I think that might be it.
I'll read the rest of it.
Okay.
It says, the earth is given into the hands of the wicked. He covered the faces of the judges thereof. If not, where and who is it?
That's it. You got it.
So, hey, if not, who is it? As the brother was saying, when you look at the artifacts, even when we look downtown, you know, when people don't even understand certain architect, it came from Jake, man. They don't even really have the technology to really do the things that we was doing back in the day. Let you know that, hey, we had the spirit of the Lord, Yahweh and the angels, man. A lot of people, you know, they be looking at the architect and like, wow, like, yeah, because you can look at this building, man. You know? It came from somewhere. But in everything that they do, they mimic and copy. Or like when you in Chicago, man. You know, when you in Chicago, you in New York, all those buildings, man, hey, they was already here, man.
Can you pull Exodus 1 and 9?
Exodus.
Sure. Yeah, I'll grab it for you. Don't worry about it. Just to prove the brother's point. You know, anything that you read in the scripture, anything that you can name, you can find it in here.
Yeah,
Right. Now this is Exodus chapter 1. And I'm gonna start at verse 9. It says, and he said unto his people, behold, the people of the children of Israel are more and mightier than we. Come, let us deal wisely with them,
Right?
lest they multiply, and it come to pass that when there falls out any war, they join also unto our enemies and fight against us, and so get them out of the land. Therefore they did set over them taskmasters to afflict them with burdens, and they built for Pharaoh treasured cities, Pithmas and Ramses. So they chose us to build up their land.
Yeah.
Ain't no different. You had ancient Egypt, now you got modern day Egypt. All this, you know, some way, shape, or form, we built this place up. You know? So that's a gift that the Most High gave us. You know what I'm saying? Look at Issachar. Issachar done built the other half of this mug, man.
Yeah.
You know? Because they have to use the children of Israel. They're not finna sit there and really get their hands dirty to do their work. All right?
Because they didn't hate us.
Well, that's what Hippo said. You know, that Babylon got the jewels of the Most High.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, it actually goes back to Malachi 3:16, 17, talking about the jewels. Can you pull that out real quick? We are the jewel. We everything that you hold, this phone that we recording on, hey, Jake made it, man. The motherboard, everything that you can really think of, Jake, everything, man.
Come from us.
Came from us.
The harvesting that we do is
Right. So Jake, hey, when Jake builds something, and Jake gonna be clean. But you know, when they build something, they do it for the masses, man. When Jake builds something, hey, they rather got the one where you can heat up the cake. You got Jake that bring the oxygen and create water. Yeah, and then Esau have you drinking the sewer water, bro.
Yeah.
You know, you can take water from the oxygen, man.
And they'll take that, keep that for themselves.
Yeah,
Like
God.
you said, we take that, we do it for the people. That remind me of the brother who got the plastiline.
Yeah.
And they try to take that
Try
and
to kill
kill him and take that to him.
And the other Jake taking plastic.
That's what he just.
Ah, that's the one.
Yeah.
The plastic. Yeah, Vaseline. Okay.
Like that's plastic.
Yeah.
Plastic.
Yeah.
This is Malachi chapter 3,
Huh?
verse 16. It says, well, let's just jump 17.
17.
It says, and they shall be mine, saith the Lord of hosts, in that day when I make up my jewels, and I will spare them as a man spares his own son that serveth him. So the Most High calls us jewels, man. We're very valuable, man. You know? And what did everybody do? They take us, use us, and then they just try to discard us as a people.
Because in Babylon, they always say, well, why don't y'all go back to Africa, or go back there? It's six, they don't want it. Because I'm giving them a stretch. But if it was 6 months and with no Jake, it was no football season, with no basketball season, it was no concerts, it was no concert. Hey, you ain't got no entertainment, man. You ain't gonna.
We the salt.
Yeah, we the salt of the earth.
That's right.
So if Jake decided this, hey, everybody bouncing, you know, you gonna see that at the end. When the Lord take us away, what he gonna do? He gonna take Babylon out, and Jake gonna be gone, man. What did they say? How they gonna try to keep us from? What's that scripture? He said they was gonna try to keep us from leaving.
Yeah, that's why they do everything in their power to keep us
in a docile state.
That's why I said, well, let's go back to it. This is Revelations 12, and you know, cause we gonna skip. We were supposed to go speak on the Messiah being born, right? But it said, let's start at verse 5. And she brought forth a man-child who was to rule all nations with a rod of iron, and her child was caught up unto God and to his throne. And the woman fled into the wilderness, where she had a place prepared of God, that they should feed her there 1,260 days, which is the time, and half a time, right? Prophetic numbers. But it says, verse 13, I'm gonna jump down. Let's go to verse 12. It says, therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil is come down unto you having great wrath, because he knows that he has but a short time. You know, so when Yahushua went to do what he had to do, they already knew, hey, it's over with. You know? So that's why he's coming down with great wrath. Not only knowing that once Yahushua went up to the Father, that time started ticking, but that through that, he was going to send us the Spirit. Through Yahushua sending us the Spirit, we always going to have a connection with the Lord. So their whole job, right, when we go to 70 AD, okay, I want to just show the photo. Their whole job in 70 AD was what? To wipe us off the face of the earth.
Right.
All right? Because if we lost our connection to the temple, then how was we going to put up sacrifices to the Lord? But this is why Yahushua came at that pivotal time. You know, you got that 124 again? Psalms 124. You know, if it were not for the Lord, let us all say, man, that the enemy would have destroyed us, man. You got it?
If it had not been for the Lord who was on our side, the men rose up against us, then they had swallowed us up quick. When their wrath was kindled against us.
Woo, when they what? When their wrath was kindled against us. Go ahead.
Then the waters had overwhelmed us, the stream had gone over our soul, then the proud waters had gone over our soul. Right. Blessed be the Lord.
Now let's stop right there. So if it wasn't for the Lord and his mercy, the waters would have drowned us. Yeah. All right, well, let's go to Revelations 12 one more time. It says, verse 13, and when the dragon saw that he was cast into the earth, he persecuted the woman which brought forth the man-child. And the woman were given 2 wings of a great eagle, that she might fly into the wilderness, into her place where she is nourished for a time, and half a time from the face of the serpent. And the serpent cast out of his mouth water as a flood after the woman, that he might cause her to be carried away of the flood. So, you know, that is what? Them coming in to destroy us and put us all to death, man. So they destroyed Jerusalem 70 AD, but the Lord, those who believed in Yahushua, he told them, look, when you see Jerusalem compassed about with the enemies, know that it's about to be over. So when y'all see that, dip off into the wilderness, man. And that's exactly what, you know, we did. Those that believed Yahushua, they left. Those that didn't stayed, and they all died. But it was through him sending his son that we got that forewarning. You know? So it says, Revelations chapter 12 and verse 16, and the earth helped the woman, and the earth opened her mouth and swallowed up the flood which the dragon cast out of his mouth. You know, so he couldn't destroy us, man. We went into the wilderness, you know, and we hid in the mountains, man. It says verse 17, and the dragon was wroth with the woman and went to make war with the remnant of her seed, which keep the commandments of God and have the testimony of Yahushua. The testimony of Yahushua being what? The spirit of prophecy. So, you know, he knows that there are some of us that are still out here, and they gonna keep the commandments and they gonna get the Holy Spirit. If they get the Holy Spirit, they're gonna come back to the knowledge of who they are. You see, so that's why Yahushua, his appearance at that moment was so heavy. Because we would have just been chilling, just like right now. You guys, they don't understand what's about to come. You know, it's just another day. You think you're gonna be able to light up a blunt and kick it? No, the enemy is full of wrath, man, and they know their time is short. So let's pull that in Obadiah, Baba Shah.
The last two.
Yeah, we started the last two.
All right, this is Obadiah chapter.
That when the time came that they went off into the forest, y'all know what that just made me think about? How they were trying to push everybody out of the woods and stuff, pushing out. It's like they want their cities back. You know what I'm saying? They want to get their cities back, but even then, like, you know, at the end of the day, Esau's still gonna try to come down on our people. If he can't push you out of the neighborhood, he's gonna try to push you to the project, you know, or whatnot.
What you were saying? You said about the project.
I was just saying Esau, you know, he's gonna try to push you into the projects and make it harder for you, you know, to survive in the city.
Right.
You know, because they really want to build up their utopia. Like it's all connected. You know, I don't know what you about to pull though.
You said 45.
As the brother said, they want that utopia, man. But the Lord, this is what the Lord told us to do. Right?
Isaiah 45 and 21. Tell ye and bring them near.
About 14 and 21, it's like.
Isaiah 14 and 21. Prepare slaughter for his children, for the iniquity of their fathers, that they do not rise, nor possess the land, nor fill the face of the world of cities.
The cities, man. You know? So it's like, hey, man, that's what they did. You know? This is what this is, the city, concourse, man. These big buildings that's surrounding us. You know? They constantly, like, look at these are condos right here, you know? That it's basically futuristic caves, man. You know? You go up there and you look down the aisle. I've delivered sometimes. I look down the aisle and all you see is doors. Yeah. I think it's what's that? Albert Hitchcock, man. You know? He be having all type of crazy stuff. Well, that's how I look when you go down the aisle. You like, man, all you see is doors and garbage outside the doors.
Yeah.
His whole thing is he wants to build up his kingdom. You know, the way for him to be able to establish that is by trying to destroy us. Is the point. That's why it said that he was wroth, because he knows that there's a small number of us that somewhere, he don't know where exactly, but it's we probably know now, but it's a small number of them that's going to come back to this knowledge. It said that he was going to persecute the remnant of her seed. So he knew there's a small number of Israelites somewhere that's going to get this truth again. Let's prove that in Obadiah.
Yeah, it'll go back. It's like it'll go back, as you said earlier, about AI. So everything, they had it. That's what I'm saying. They watching, this the remnant. The remnant going to be doing what we're doing right now. They're going to keep the commandment. They're going to have a testimony, you know.
Let's grab it.
Go ahead.
here.
As long as they can keep us asleep, they're fine.
But when we start creating, I was gonna say, but when we start, if it even, you know what I'm saying, if I feel like if we create our own, establish our own, that's when like I feel like the real change.
The Lord ain't gonna allow. The Lord said that this is not our rest.
Right.
So no matter what you do here in Babylon, it's gonna be destroyed. The judgment of this place is official. So you could build up whatever, it's gonna be gone. You know, and we'll probably go into that, but it's the scriptures that says that we'll be able to enjoy the fruits of our labors and the work of our hands. But that's in the kingdom. Right now, this ain't the place that the Lord wants us to be comfortable at.
Right.
Because we ain't gonna do what's needed and what's necessary.
Right.
Right? Now this is Isaiah chapter 10 and verse 20. And it says, "And it shall come to pass in the future, in that day, that the remnant of Israel and such as are escaped of the house of Jacob shall no more stay upon him that smote them, but shall stay upon the Holy One, so like shall stay upon Yahweh, the Holy One of Israel, in truth." So to stay upon the Most High is what? Is that we lean on him. Anything that we need, we go to the Lord for. We don't lean upon them that smote us. You know, we don't got to go to our When you come into this knowledge and you come into the truth, now you don't put your trust in this place and in their money, because the money really don't mean nothing. It's just paper.
Right.
You know, money is a form of control, because like today, it might cost you $100, and then next week that $100 might mean nothing. So it really ain't no value to that. But when we go to the Lord, we understand like, hey, water that the Lord may give you, that's of the Most High. We stay upon him. So when you go, for example, to Exodus, you know, when the Lord was hitting the Egyptians with plagues, our cities was cool. Anywhere that the Israelites dwelt, there was no evil that happened over there, but the Egyptians was getting jacked up. So yeah, when we saw that, we was like, hey, we stand upon the Lord. You know, why go back and make yourself a servant to them when the Most High is our God? You know? So it says one more time, "And it shall come to pass that the remnant of Israel and such as are escaped of the house of Jacob," those of us that are delivered from all these evils, "shall no more stay upon him that smote them, but shall stay upon Yahweh, the Holy One of Israel, in truth. The remnant shall return, even the remnant of Jacob, unto the mighty God. For though thy people Israel be as the sand of the sea, yet a remnant of them shall return. The consumption decree shall overflow with righteousness." So that's why I say 2/3 gone. You know, but it's about that 1/3 that actually seeks the Most High. You know, we're always gonna rely on the Most High. I don't gotta sit there and be like, let me try and sell out and try to find a way to pay Esau. You know, the Lord gonna always make a way, and that's a level of faith that the elect is gonna have. You know, when they come out with the chip, or they came out with the jab, you know what I'm saying? A lot of people is like, I gotta take it, because if I don't, then how am I gonna eat? Well, then you ain't got no faith. Right? The same things is happening. When you go to the book of Revelation, it said that he caused it all right, to get that mark. If you don't get it, you can't buy, you can't sell, you can't do no trade. So if you trust in them, you're gonna be the first one in line. And I'm like, but us, I'm not finna go. Right? I'm gonna trust in the Lord. So knowing that that's part of them having to try and force us to conform, because without us, this kingdom ain't gonna exist. If all of Israel left America right now and went to, say, Mexico, the whole world would go into damn chaos, man. That's it.
Yeah. This is Obadiah chapter 1, verse 20. "In the captivity of this host of the children of Israel shall possess that of the Canaanites, even unto the Zarephath."
So basically, you gotta understand, when we come back into power, he said we're gonna have others in captivity. Same way that they rule over us, we gonna rule over them. All right. Now, real quick, because it might sound strange, I know how to put myself in other people's shoes. Even when they walk by, like, man, like, what's the Canaanite? What does that matter? See, when you erase people's identity, it takes us away from the scriptures. Like, now we know who the Canaanites is. That's only knowledge that the elect would have. We're going to get them, put them into captivity. All right, let's keep on going, brother.
Con. In Zarephath, in the captivity of Jerusalem, which is in a separate.
Let's skip to the book. Let's just go to verse 21.
Con, verse 21. And saviors shall come up on Mount Zion to judge the mount of Esau.
That's it. So that is prophecy. That's the last verse in the book of Obadiah. It says that saviors shall arise upon Mount Zion. You got let's go to Revelation 14. You know? So they understand that there's a remnant that's going to depart. There's a remnant that's going to make themselves separate, and they're going to trust in the Lord and reject this place. All right, and what are they going to do? They're going to rise up upon Mount Zion and judge the Mount of Esau. You know, this is judgment. When we come and tell them, thus saith the Lord, y'all being destroyed, and this is why, and we wake up our people, that's their judgment. And the judgment eventually has, you know, execution that goes with it. So the Lord has to tell you what he's going to punish you for first. Then it's going to happen. Right? So they know that we coming. You got it out. Revelation 1 and 14 and 1.
This is Revelation 14 and 1. And I looked, and lo, a lamb stood on the mount of Zion, and with him 144,000, having his father's name written in their foreheads.
Right.
And I heard a voice from heaven as the voice of many waters, and as the voice of a great thunder. And I heard the voice of harpers harping with their harps.
That's it, which is what? This knowledge. The understanding of the scriptures coming out at the last days is everything that was just described. The thunders that went forth. You holding something?
Yeah, Obadiah.
Okay, you can drop Obadiah. Let's go to Revelation 10, Brother Bashar. Right? Let's prove that. Right. Let me see. Revelations 10. Let's go to, let me say it right now. And I heard thunders. We can start at 3.
Yeah, this is Revelation chapter 10, verse 3. And cry with a loud voice, as when a lion roareth.
Okay, so, you know, going back to it, right? The lion being the Lord. And when he comes, he said it's a loud voice that roars, showing you, hey, it's the Lord fighting for his prey. Go ahead.
Con.
For his pride.
Roareth, and when he had cried, 7 thunders uttered their voices.
That's right.
And when the 7 thunders had uttered their voices, I was about to write, and I heard a voice from heaven saying unto me, seal up those things which the 7 thunders uttered,
That's right.
and write them not.
And write them not. So these things are hidden, right? That's what the Lord does when he speaks. The 7 thunders go through, which is what? The 7 churches, the elect, waking up in these last days. He said, don't write it, because all these things are hidden. So that's why they can pick up our book, they can open it, but it ain't gonna hit. Because to even know the prophecy, you gotta be of the 144,000. Right? Let's keep on proving that, huh?
Revelation 14. Revelation 14 and 2. And I heard a voice from heaven as the voice of many waters, and as the voice of a great thunder. And I heard the voice of harpers harping with their harps, and they sung as it were a new song before the throne and before the 4 beasts and the elders, and no man could learn that song but the 144,000.
That's it. So John knew it. John understood. He got revelation, but he was told not to write it. You know? So that's heavy in itself, man. For guys that say they might know more than John, you don't know more than John. Right? But John understood, okay, boom, that's when all the unraveling shall begin. is when the 144,000 come, they receive the Spirit and they play their harps. You know, the harps being this knowledge and understanding, being a song that nobody can learn, man.
Right.
But so it make perfect sense. Yeah. It's like, hey, it all click and all resonate. Everybody else is just, you know, gobbledygook. You know what I'm saying? They don't understand what we saying. We could try and show them all day, but it ain't gonna click. But it clicks to the elect. All right, let's keep on going, brother. So that's the savior that shall arise and judge the Mount of Esau. Let's keep going.
It says, this is verse 4, chapter 14, verse 4. These are they which were not defiled with women, for they are virgins. These are they which follow the Lamb whithersoever he goeth. These were redeemed from among men, being the first fruits unto God and to the Lamb. And in their mouth was found no guile, for they are without fault before the throne of God.
So they gonna have that perfect understanding from the Lord. You know, so going back to it, Esau ultimately knows that these men is gonna come. So what he gotta do? Come down with great wrath. He like, damn, they starting to wake up. Okay, now let's go back to Psalms 124. About the shot. No rush, man. You got Isaiah 58:19?
No, I ain't have it, but I can get it.
Go ahead, bro.
When we start from the top, or we have left off?
Let's just start at verse 4.
Psalms 124, verse 4. Then the waters had overwhelmed us, the stream had gone over our soul, then the proud waters had gone over our soul. Blessed be the Lord, who have not given us as a prey to their teeth. Our soul is escaped as a bird out of the snare of the fowlers. The snare is broken, and we are escaped. Our health is in the name of the Lord, who made heaven and earth.
So the snare has been broken, these traps that they lay for us, man. You know, keeping us ignorant, you know, keeping us unaware of the times that we're in, because they know just as much as we do, the elect, that the Lord is on his way. They see all these strange wonders going on in the heavens. You know, they see World War III kicking up. All right, what do? They some old basketball, some sport, this and that, stay distracted. You know, and through the Spirit of the Lord, we have broken free of that snare, that entrapment that they try to keep on your mind. You know.
So like I was gonna say, that makes me think about. I think it was in a movie. They were like, I think it might have been what's the one with Brad Pitt and when aliens they came out. World War Z. No, not was that Brad Pitt? No, not World War Z. World Worlds. I think it's World Worlds. Yeah, when they came down through the lightning strike, and he was talking to his wife, and his wife was like, "Well, on the news they say don't worry." And he was like, "That's when you worry. They're gonna tell you not to worry. They're gonna tell you everything good when everything bad.
Yeah.
But that's when everything bad."
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what Esau do, man. He working all deceivableness. Right, let's pull that. Oh, and it say peace and safety. When they say peace and safety.
Yeah.
Let me grab that one for you real quick. Yep. First, I got it, brother. Yeah, First Thessalonians. Yep. Now this is 1 Thessalonians 5:1. But at the times and seasons, brethren, you have no need that I write unto you. For yourselves know perfectly that the day of the Lord so cometh as a thief in the night. For when they shall say peace and safety, then sudden destruction comes upon them as travail upon a woman with child, and they shall not escape. But ye, brethren, are not in darkness, that day should overtake you as a thief. So the Lord gave us the ability to see what's going on. You know, a lot of people are still in darkness. Their minds, are thinking that this place is going to continue forever and ever. Like we said, it's just another day to wake up and BS, man. But the elect, we're in the state of watching. We are seeing everything that's playing out. So, you know, to them, when Trump talking about there's going to be no such thing as World War III, that's him working on their mind, saying, nah, the prophecies ain't true. Well, nah, the prophecies is true as can be. We waking up, they know that. They see all this stirring up of the scores that the Most High about to set, but he can't let us know.
Right.
So if it wasn't for the prophets, everybody would just be in a continual state. Now, we're not here for everybody. We just here for the elect. Hey, brother, that brother right there, through the Spirit, bring him in. Because when this pop off, y'all already knew what was going on. Right? You got Proverbs out? Let's pull, what you hold?
I got Revelations and some.
We could drop Revelations. Yeah, we could drop the Psalms. Now, let's go to Proverbs chapter 1. So we're really out here just to, you know, judge Esau, wake up the elect. That's it. So the top. Now we're gonna go to verse 20. Sorry, 20.
Turn you at my reproof. Proverbs 1 and 23.
That's right.
Turn you at my reproof. Behold, I will pour out my spirit unto you. I will make known my words unto you, because I have called and ye refused. I have stretched out my hand and no man regarded. But ye have set at naught all my counsel, and with none of my reproof. I also will laugh at your calamity.
Right, the destruction. When all hell break loose, the Lord said, I'm going to laugh. Because all you had to do was stop and listen, and I'll pour out my words to you. I'll make known the prophecies. But because you refuse it, they walk by, they don't want to hear, or, you know, all them niggas don't know what they talking about. All right. You know, we'll see, because we not in one of these huge churches.
Right.
You know, they don't esteem the men of the Lord for what we are. We don't control that the Lord gave us a spirit, but he did. So we can give you everything that you need to be able to escape the judgment. All right, the scriptures say that you can save your soul and those that hear you. We got that. All right, but he said to those that don't listen. Let's keep going, brother.
I also will laugh at your calamities. I will mock when you fear cometh. When you fear cometh as desolation, and your destruction cometh as a whirlwind. When distress and anguish cometh upon you, then shall they call upon me, but I will not answer. They shall seek me early, but they shall not find me, for that they hated knowledge and did not choose the fear of the Lord. They would none of my counsel, and they despised all my reproof. Therefore shall they eat of the fruit of their own way, and be filled with their own devices. For the turning away of the simple shall slay them, and the prosperity of fools shall destroy them. But whoso hearkeneth unto me shall dwell safely, and shall be quiet from fear of evil.
That's it. So, you know, when all hell breaking loose, and all these plagues start going forth at another level, because really we got the three woes, right? They ain't gonna go on that today. But you got the final woes that go out. Amen. People gonna be tormented mightily, is what the scriptures say. Mightily tormented, man. You know, boils that strike them, hail that falls out of heaven. You know, people are gonna wish that they could die, but they won't be able to. You know, so that's why it's so important that you're hearing, you're listening to what's being said through the Spirit. Now, if you don't value that, go on your own way. But this will keep you from fear of evil. You know, he that dwells in the secret place of the Most High shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty, man. So we ain't gonna be sitting there, you know, worried about all the death that's going on. We're gonna be stepping over bodies, matter of fact.
Psalm 91.
1,000 on this side, 10,000 on that side, right? But it shall not come down deep. You got it?
Yeah. So where were you at, bro? Because I was hearing something. Talking about
26. I will also laugh at your calamity.
That's where you started at?
Yeah, and then I read down to 30. Or actually, I got down to, I think, yeah, I did 26 to 30. The whole
Yeah, start at 29 again, but
Revelations 1 and 29. For that they hated knowledge and did not choose the fear of the Lord, they would have known of my counsel. They despised all my reproof.
They despise all your reproof. Go ahead.
Therefore shall they eat of the fruit of their own way.
Of their own way. That's the thing. That's the thing that's happening on right now. Everybody's eating of the fruit of their own ways. They walk by this church. See, people don't look at us as being a church right here. You know, they'll walk by it, have no questions. Why? Because they're doing what? Read it one more time, Book of the Shop.
Therefore shall they eat of the fruit of their own way, and be filled with their own devices.
Yeah, so they got their own fruits that they want to look after, not the counsel of the Lord. So everything that's going on around us, even though we're standing here, people walk by, they're after their own devices. They're going to go to the game. They're going to go to some type of functions. Lord said, but I'm going to give you over to their own device. Go ahead.
For the turning away of the simple shall slay them, and the prosperity of fools shall destroy them. But whoso hearkeneth unto me shall dwell safely, and shall be quiet from fear of evil.
So there's an opposite. There's someone going to hearken. They're going to listen. And they're going to do what?
It says, but hearken unto me shall dwell safely, and shall be quiet from fear of evil.
So they're going to be put through safety. The Lord is going to have that safety over you, man.
Protection.
Yeah, that protection. Yeah.
Ezekiel chapter 9.
Yeah.
You know, you go to Ezekiel chapter 9, it says that the angels set a mark upon each man. You know, don't touch him, don't touch him, don't touch him. Right? But everybody else who ain't got that mark, when them angels come, the death angels, they gonna start putting people, you know, they gonna start putting people down. It might not necessarily be when the angel come and chop you, you know, you get cut in half. Nah, it just be like, all right, boom. The angel chop you through the spirit, damn piano fall on your head. You know what I'm saying? That's how it be. All right, strange calamities are start overtaking people, man.
Yeah.
All right.
It was that Amos where he said that he ran from the lion.
Yeah,
He got bit by the scorpion. Hey, so you going, matter of fact, I was watching a movie about that. They was running one way, he was escaping. They jumped over this off of like a bridge, they escaped. Then something just came in and scooped them out, man. So it's like they were trying to run from different place to place, man.
Hey, look, what it say? It says, I got to put it back on my phone. It said that they shall not escape.
Okay, yeah.
Right? 1 Thessalonians 5 and 3. For when they shall say peace and safety, then sudden destruction comes upon them, as to fell upon a woman with child, and they shall not escape. So it don't matter, man. You be sitting there running, not understanding that you running to the appointed death. You know what I mean? So it behooves you to come in and listen, because those that sigh and that cry in Israel, right? Those are the ones that the Lord's going to deliver. Okay? Then you go to, you know, what was it? I think it was James. James said the cries of them have been heard in the heavens, man. So the Most High pays attention to that. When you sitting here and you really living your best life in Babylon, you ain't no different than the Edomites to them, to the Most High. You know, yeah, you part of this world. Like, you over here flexing and you got everything that you want. So that's your consultation. You know, the scriptures say, though they have received gifts from the Most High, you know, you may have money in this world, but that don't mean that the Lord knows you. You know what I mean? So people think that you blessed because you a millionaire. Nah, you just got your gift on this end because you're not going to receive nothing. When the time comes, all them riches mean nothing. You know?
I'll say about getting your consolation on this side.
That's right.
You know? That consolation, you get to get everything, the dainties of this world. You know? That's the, you know, the LeBron James, that's all the people who done became successful in this world ate deliciously and ate the dainties of this world, you know? That's why when you come in this truth, that's why we bring out Sirach chapter 2 so much. You got to come from the high all the way down to the low. To really see the surface, man. I say it all the time. You got to see how can you see the surface, man? Only time you can see the surface, I'm going to just bow down right now. I can see the surface, you know, until you come up. But if you're at the top, you're looking down, you might see it, but you don't really understand the purpose of being able to do the will of the Lord. When you're at the top, you're just looking down, and you're at your pride. But when you're at your low, you're able to see the surface. You're able to see the highs and the lows. You know, people always say all the time, I've been in the highs and I've been at the lows. Most of the people who've been in the highs and the lows, what they do, they walk with a balance. You know what I'm saying? They walk with a balance. Why? Because they had it before, it's been taken away, and the Lord had blessed them to get it back. So that means you have a true balance. Like, hey, you know, I think the scripture says, give me not too much, you know, and I curse you, and give me not too little. It goes something like, what's that, Proverbs? I think it's Proverbs. It speaks about that.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. So like, don't give me too much, because I will curse you, you know? Yeah. Because like, when you have too much, what happens? You act like you don't need the book. Yeah. You know? But if you had too, if you don't have that much, then you try to curse the Lord. Why? Because you ain't got what it needs to suffice life. Yeah.
Give me neither poverty nor riches.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, this is Proverbs chapter 30, and in verse 7, 2 things have I required of thee, deny me them not before I die. Remove far from me vanity and lies. Give me neither poverty nor riches. Feed me with food convenient for me.
Convenient. Go ahead.
Lest I should be full and deny thee.
Full and deny you. Go ahead.
And say, who is Yahweh? Or lest I be poor and steal and take the name of my God in vain.
So you don't want you want to have a true balance, man. You know, because if you don't, you're gonna do one stream, and then if you're down low, you're gonna do another stream. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, because people who got everything they want, they say ain't no point in serving the Lord. You know, that's why he says, woe to the rich. You know, because they trusted all their money that's just gone. You know, like now all your problems is good. Not even understanding, hey, there's a parable Yahweh gave about the rich man. You want to say something, brother?
Yeah, I was going to speak on. That's why I think I was telling you that when I was like what you, like I've been noticing a lot about people, or no, I think that was me and you, we was on the phone, we was talking about the NBA players. And I was telling you, like, I done seen a lot of people who are NBA players, I feel like they're going to be miserable. The only thing they do is basketball. Yeah. Like, bro, imagine you your whole life, all you do is that's all people think you're good for, playing basketball. Like,
yeah, they can't
what
say
they said.
They can't say that. But I mean, see, the point, man, is these people's mentality is as long as they got money, everything's cool.
Yeah.
Right? Not understanding that the judgment of the Lord could flare up instantly. Right? Now, if we could you pull Luke 12:16, Baba Kashaf. Let's go to the book of Ecclesiastes and check, Ecclesiastes 12. That's why it's best to always have that balance. Yeah, the Lord gonna make you go through ups and downs. You know, the Lord and wisdom is understanding that He's giving you enough because that's what you're gonna need. You get like a huge influx of bread, like the scripture say, don't set your heart upon it because it'll get wings and fly away, man. Money burns. Money comes and goes. So you gotta understand if you get some type of just vast amount, you got to consider, like, all right, well, Lord, what is it? If you in the spirit, He's going to give you what's convenient for you, you know? Because you have people, hey, they hit the lottery and they just put the scriptures down, you know? Because that show you where your mind is at. You only sign and crying because you ain't got no bread.
That's Jake.
Yeah, soon as you get some money, Now you don't want to go serve the Lord no more.
Right.
You know, when you need to consider that maybe He giving you that for the times to come. You look at Joseph before the famine. Hey, the Lord gave him wisdom. Start stockpiling because a famine is coming. You know, so you always gotta look forward. That's being prudent. It says a wise man foreseeth the evil and hides himself, but the fool passes on and is punished. Okay, don't be as this man. Go ahead.
God. This is Luke chapter 12, verse 16. And he spake a parable unto them, saying, the ground of a certain rich man brought forth plentiful. And he thought within himself, saying, what shall I do? Because I have no room where to bestow my fruits. And he said, this will I do. I will pull down my barns,
Right.
and build greater.
That's it. So the mentality of the rich is when they have too much, they say, you know what? I'm gonna break down this side of the house. I'm gonna build more.
Yeah.
You know, that way I can put more in there. You know, they never have enough. Okay, so they pull it down and he builds more. Let's keep going.
As a matter of fact, fully before Trump, man, you know, the White House, he building another wing on that side, man. I need a hall, man. It says, I have no room where to bestow my fruits. And he said, this will I do. I will pull down my barns and build greater. And there will I bestow all my fruits and my goods.
Yeah.
And I will say to my soul, soul, thou hast much goods laid up for many years. Take thy ease, eat, drink, and be merry.
Yeah, that's it. In their mind, they eat, drink, and they're merry. You know, every day is a damn party. Every day, you know, is another day to relax in your riches.
Right.
You know, that's the mentality of the rich. Like I said, us in the spirit, we understand, hey, the Lord may give you these things for a purpose. Is it, hey, you got to be able to distribute the extra that you got to make sure that the brothers next to you is taken care of, family taken care of. You looking forward to the evil that's to come. This man's mind wasn't on that. He thinking everything's sweet.
Right.
But what did the Lord say?
But the Most High said unto him, thou fool,
Now, fool, go ahead.
this night thy soul shall be required of thee.
That's scary, man. You know? So that's why you gotta understand, it's like these people's mentality is, hey, you just came up on a big lick, you getting all this money. Not understanding, hey, tomorrow the Lord can call and require your soul, man. What does that mean? That you finna die. All right? And it can happen in any manner of way, but you consider not that it's a foolish thing. Because what is your life but a vapor, man? Well, that's why every day, you know, when brothers say we're gonna do something, we say, Lord willing. Lord willing, I'll catch you tomorrow, Lord willing. You know? Because it might not be the Lord's will that you see tomorrow. You know, that's the mentality of a foolish man, and that's how everybody that's prospering in this world is. You know, they gonna continue to build and build and build, not understanding the judgment. That's it. Let's go ahead. Ecclesiastes 12:1. Ecclesiastes 12.
Ecclesiastes 12:1 says, remember now thy creators in the days of thy youth, while the evil days come not, nor the years draw nigh, when thou shalt say, I have no pleasure in them.
That's it. So think about the Lord now in your youth. Okay, you have to seek him early while he may be found, because there's going to come a day when all the things that people take pleasure in is going to be taken away. You know, there's going to come a day when you can't go and turn on the faucet and get water. There's going to come a day when there's no food. There's going to come a day where, shit, you ain't got to worry. In America, you're not worried about walking out in the street and, you know, bombs being dropped on you. You know, but them days are coming. All right, go ahead, brother.
So like every man give you a part of what you can sing about. There will be a day where can you cut the water on. A lot of it, that's a lot of the parties are already deflect. Like them in Michigan Flint, they ain't have water for 3-4 years. But nobody cared because it don't affect the person. That goes back to like what he said. They in their way.
Esau, he ain't worried about that. Like, that's why you gotta understand the rich man in the scriptures is Esau. We're the poor. We're as Lazarus, you know, and we sit under his table and eat of the crumbs that fall from his plate. You know, so everything that he got, he's just living deliciously. We gotta try and catch, you know, the little bit that we got, man. Let me go to work another hour, man. I might get another $20. That's the crumbs. He over there, hey, millionaires, man. They ain't worried about nothing. You know?
Eating deliciously, man. You know? That's heavy you said that, because I always say that to brothers all the time, just because it ain't happening to us. Because I say this all the time about Tennessee, man. You know? A lot of things happen everywhere else, but Tennessee, it don't get touched like that. But you got to count your blessings that the Lord don't touch Tennessee like that, you know? Because when you start, like the brother said, you start going around where Jake area at, Alabama, Mississippi, Florida, you know, Georgia, you know, Texas, you know, Jake down there be getting hit, you know? But that lets you know, hey, who they are. But they protect a state like Tennessee, man. Unless it's out like Memphis or somewhere. But most of the time, in this area right here, they gonna, hey, if something goes down, they gonna build it up real quick. It ain't gonna stay down low for long until like the Lord come with that heavy wrath. But that's why I speak to brothers really, like you said, you never understand the lowly unless you're there. If you ain't in Flint, you see it on TV,
Right.
but you ain't witnessing it. Imagine not having no water to give you a bath.
Right.
And you gotta think, dang, even a washcloth. Like now, we'll keep the water just running over the end, you know? Just keep it running. You know, it be my fault. Even though I do that from time to time, you be like, man, like, you running the water, but when you have no water, what happens, man? You just getting, just imagine you had a bottle of water. That's all you have for the day. You ain't pouring it like you are a water fountain, man.
Scarce.
You pouring that mud with in increments.
Yeah,
you know? Yeah. You try to find how you can get more water. I mean, you used to do that when we was young. You know, when we was, you know, you had to go to somebody else's faucet and go get water.
Back in the day when you was young, everybody playing outside, everybody go to one water hose.
One water hose, man.
This is right here, right? Because the Lord was pronouncing the judgment that was going to happen on Israel, but everything will happen here. It says, Ezekiel 4:10, and thy meat which thou shalt eat shall be by weight. 20 shekels a day, from time to time shalt thou eat it. Thou shalt drink also water by measure. You know, right now, hey, you got it in abundance. Yeah. Just like I said, you turn on the faucet, man, you walk, you know, go cook you something, come back, hey, the water that spilled over, you know what I'm saying? Well, hey, them days is getting cut short. You're going to be like, damn, that's all I got. I got to drink this for a week straight. You know what I'm saying? So them plagues are coming upon the earth again. That's why these people, they such in a state of having abundance, they consider not. You know, that's all that Luke went into. Thou fool, it's a foolish thing for you to think that. Yeah. Let's keep on going. Ecclesiastes 12:1, huh?
Yep. We at 2 now.
You can read that 2, you can read that 1, no man. I just like the context.
I got y'all going all the way through. I go all the way through. Ecclesiastes 12:1 says, remember now thy creator in the days of thy youth, while the evil days come not, nor the years draw nigh, when thou shalt say, I have no pleasure in them, while the sun or the light or the moon or the stars be not darkened, nor the clouds return after the rain, in the day when the keepers of the house shall tremble, and the strong men shall bow themselves, and the grinders cease because they are few.
That's it. So there's coming to a day when all these things are going to come to a stop. You know, the grinding shall cease. You know, and that's literally what we call it. You know, when you making money, you want to grind. Well, hey, them days coming to a cease. Them days coming to an end when it ain't gonna be no work. There's not gonna be no food. You know, and when you look at what happened, you know, that I don't want to say the word, but that plague that came, you know, with the jump shot, right? There was a lot of people not working, man. I remember videos. It was dudes that was crying. Talking about don't come knock on my door, and you know, if you do, I'm gonna shoot you, and then what we gonna do, and all this, you know what I'm saying? Like, them days are gonna come again, but this time it ain't gonna be no, you know, returning back. You know what I'm saying?
They foolish and stay stuck in their ways.
And that's the difference, you know, of being in the world and not being in the world. Because if you really believe it, the true wealth is food, water. What is that hot? Where it says the Lord gave seven things. You know, the Lord, really, that's the true riches. Like the brother said earlier, the money has no riches. Like you out in the wilderness or you out in the desert, and it's scorching out there, and someone had $1 million or someone had a bottle of water, which one will you choose? You know, you're going to choose, a wise man going to choose the water.
Right.
A wicked man going to do what? He going to take the money, think he going to make it to the other side to be able to buy water. And he going to die, he going to be dying in the wilderness, not finding where the water is, and he's through. You got it out.
This is Sirach chapter 39 and 26. It says the principal things for the whole use of man's life are water, fire, iron, and salt, flour of wheat, honey, milk, and the blood of the grape, and oil, and clothing. All these things are for good to the godly, so to the sinner they are turned into evil.
So, because it was loud, can you hear that loud on hand back from the shop?
Yep, it says the principal things for the whole use of man's life are water, fire, iron, and salt, flour of wheat, honey, milk, and the blood of the grape, and oil, and clothing. All these things are for good to the godly, so to the sinner they are turned into evil.
Right, so those things are, we look at them as being, hey, we're blessed. As long as we can get these items, you know, the water, the flour, the oil, the grapes, you know, from time to time, we like, hey, we can get some yaya. You know, we're blessed. You know, but hey, some people, they want greater. You know, we was once there, your mind was like, hey, I want more and more and more and more, you know, like the rich man in Luke. Because why? Your mindset is like, you can never have enough. That's Psalm 49 and 11. You know, they can never have enough. It's always, they're gonna do everything possible to continue to grind, to get more. And it's gonna be through the expense of Jake though. That's why being at this low state has no benefit for us. Why? It's because no matter how much you grind, it's never gonna be enough in a captivity, man.
I got that.
Go ahead.
It's Sirach chapter 41 and 1. It says, O death, how bitter is a remembrance of thee to a man that liveth at rest in his possessions. Unto the man that has nothing to vex him, and that has prosperity in all things.
Right.
Yea, unto him that is still able to receive meat. You know, so to them, they want this to go on forever and ever. You know, we don't. You gotta understand there's many forms of death. All right, but let's go back a little bit. When you go into slavery, for example, that was a bitter constraint that we had to live through during that time, man. Every day you wake up, man, you gotta go in jeopardy of your life. It's still the same thing, but you not work a few days, man. Hey, these are gonna cut you off, man. You know, you either gonna serve him or not. And through serving him, hey, he's able to live deliciously. So him thinking about the end of this place, the second death, right? When this place get judged, hey, that's bitter to them. all this one day gonna have to go. No, he don't want that. Okay? But it says, verse 2, O death, acceptable is thy sentence unto the needy. You know?
Yeah.
It says, and unto him whose strength faileth, that is now in the last age. And that's where we at right now, the end days, man. You know, that age of time coming to pass, we want the Lord to hasten it. You know, we want to see it into this place. We want this place to die, okay?
Yeah.
Because once that happens, there's no more of being oppressed by the oppressor. All right? We gonna live in our kingdom and we gonna have our heaven, okay? It says, and is vexed with all things, and to him that despairs and has lost patience. All right? So that's it. You know, the rich man wants to live forever and ever because this is his world. You know, he ain't finna take the extra that he got and, you know, and help nobody. Look at damn Elon Musk and all these millionaires. You know, if they wanted to, they could eradicate poverty. If they wanted to, they show you who's in rule. Look, when you read the book of Revelations, it says when the righteous are in authority, the whole world is in rejoicing. So all the nations gonna prosper off of our kingdom. You know, if you hungry, hey, all you gotta do, come up to Jerusalem, man. You know, you want some wisdom, knowledge, we're gonna be teaching the nations how to keep the world in a good estate. You know, but these folk, hey, they so rich. You know, right now you got all these homeless out here in the streets, you riding by, $1 million in your bank account, don't even stop to try and give them a drink. That's wicked, man. All right? The scriptures condemn that. They condemn that mentality. Esau, they say he lived deliciously, man. All right?
What is that you said back in the days that we used to have a trench go around for the poor? So when they when they walk by, they are able to eat even from the fruits of your garden, man. You know. Yeah. So they can eat. But if say you was hungry and you was in this day and age and you ride by and got an apple off an Esau tree,
yeah, he gonna
shoot you.
He gonna kill you. You can't even fish.
He'll get you for stealing. You know, you're on my property. Having no remorse or having no sympathy. Let's put it that way. Having no sympathy for from a hungry man. That's like you said, brother. You got that?
Yeah, this is Leviticus chapter 19 and verse 9. It says, when you shall reap the harvest of your land, thou shalt not wholly reap the corners of thy field. Neither shalt thou gather the gleanings of thy harvest. Right. And thou shalt not glean thy vineyard, neither shalt thou gather every grape of the vineyard. Thou shalt leave them for the poor and stranger. I am Yahweh your God. You know? So it shows you that the law of the Most High is perfect. So there shouldn't be nobody hungry. You go, you ride through these fields, everything be gone. The whole land be plowed. You know, you ride between, I think it's Indiana. Yeah. You know, I went to Chicago one time, rode through there. I'm talking about it's miles and miles and miles of nothing but corn, you know, and all that. But when the harvest comes, everything be gone. Ain't one piece of corn left.
What it said, the gate, what it said, the great gathering?
Yep.
You know, man, we won't even leave one morsel, man. As a matter of fact, as your brother was saying, they don't. You know, when they harvest, even there's even a law of land rest. You know, you're supposed to let the land rest. I think every 7 years out.
Yep.
You know, the Jubilee.
Yeah. It's supposed to be a land rest, so that way even the land could reproduce its nutrients.
Yeah.
They just constantly, and you wonder why they got to make GMO foods, right?
Yeah.
Because the soil just ain't producing good fruit no more.
You know, beat the hell out of it just like they do with us. Man. You know, they never enough. You constantly, it's 6 days, 7 days. If they could, man, they work. Hey, they even got it where you at tech companies where you can have everything at your hand, man. You can stay there at 9 o'clock and still get food, and you got daycare. They want you there all day long. They want 24/7 if they can, man.
That's what you can prosper if you they slave.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
You know, because if you work for somebody, whether you understand it or not, you're their servant. You know, that's what you signed a contract for. I will work for you for this amount of time to receive this amount of money. That's a slave. So whatever he tells you to do, you must do. And if you do not, then you won't be my slave. You ain't my slave, then you're not gonna benefit. Well, guess what? We're gonna do the same thing.
That's right.
All right. But all that said, it was Obadiah 1:5. I'll pull it for you.
Okay.
Right? It's Obadiah 1:5 that says, if thieves came to thee, talking to Esau, if robbers by night, would they not have stolen till they had enough? You know what I'm saying? Hey, when you hitting the lick, hey, you can only get what you can carry, man.
Yeah.
You know, you fill your pockets, fill your book bag, you know, whatever you can, you hop in the car, you out of there. I ain't sitting there trying to take the TV, the damn dresser, hey, pull the U-Haul up, we're gonna grab a mattress too.
You ain't going out. You
Yeah.
come back in, you gonna go out and you gone.
Even robbers steal enough, man.
Yeah.
All right? It's saying,
Yeah.
if the grape gatherers came to thee, would they not leave some grapes?
But they not what?
Would they not leave some grapes?
Not leave some grapes? Man, they ain't gonna leave one grape. They want to see you starve. They want to see you at the bottom. It pleases them to see you struggling and begging, man. You know, when you got to go to them and what the Lord said, they shall be the head, you shall be the tail. When you go to them, when you go in there and ask for a loan, man, they can't wait to say your food is good. You know what I'm saying? Exactly. They can't wait. See, that's Esau right there. So he didn't even have to do that. So it's like, when you go in there, he looking at your score, he's like, you ain't gonna be able to get it. And the first thing you do is put your head down.
Yeah.
Why? Because you're in need of something. And he has a power rather to give or not. I remember when I was in corporate, man, you know, and I remember one time it was a big deal, and I could easily waive the fees, right? And this fee was like astronomical crazy, man. So I was like, man, I was talking to the dude, and I was like, man, I'll go ahead and waive it for you because, you know, I was the one running point on it. Then the manager come on me, looked over my shoulder and say, why you waive the fees? I was like, man, this dude just getting ready to give us 100 stacks.
Yeah.
You know? Now I put 120 on them. I'm like, I'm going home on the weekend. I'm like, man, that's crazy.
Yeah.
But I was finally, was able to finally, get her to really reason with someone. But hey, they don't want a reason, man. They want to punish us, man.
And that's called oppression.
Yeah.
My bad, you got it, brother.
Now I was gonna say, Shoma, you might not have seen it, no, I'm sure you probably seen it. The movie The Incredibles. We were at the beginning. You seen The Incredibles, Shoma?
Yeah, I think so.
We're in the beginning. He's working in a corporate office, and his boss is this short guy.
Okay.
And he's talking to an elder lady. He basically does insurance, and he was telling her he was giving her the policies and letting her know go here, basically giving her the secrets to basically rid her of all her bad insurances and flaws.
Right.
And then that's when his manager came and said, why is all your customers finding a way to get over their fees and their flaws? And he was like, we're here to make sure that they pay those fees. He was like, that's what he told her. He was like, if you're not gonna do what we tell you to do, then you can leave.
Right.
And that's what he got to say.
Yeah, because this whole country is all oppression, right? Because even when you go to the dollar bill, right? What is the bill? You go to a restaurant, you pay what? The bill. You know? So it's predicated upon debt. The scriptures let you know if you in debt to somebody, you are their slave. Because now you owe me something. You know? And if you don't pay me what is owed, now I'm able to do, whatever they could, I forgot what the scripture called it. It's not usury, but they can take your pledge. So if you can't pay, right, they'll be like, all right, I'm going to take this as collateral.
Yeah.
You got a car. They'll take your car from you so you can't use it. Yeah, I mean, that's what it is. Because now, when you, for example, you make a car payment, your paychecks go to the bank that loaned you that money. So now you're working for them.
Yeah.
And if you don't, they're going to take it from you. And when you pay back, then you can have it back again. So that's a form of slavery. So this whole system is predicated upon debt.
Yeah.
That's why it's the dollar bill. When I give you $1, you owe me for this dollar that is given. So I give you $8. I need $8 worth of food. So you have to do a service for me. The more money that you stack up and you give out, that's something they have to either give back to you or pay back. And so when you put tax and debt on people, it makes them perpetually a slave.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, we used to say it all the time with the name, but it's the word usury. Usury is interest, and that they always say, well, hey brother, I'm your brother. Well, it's by the scriptures, a brother is not supposed to put usury on you.
Right.
You're not my brother because you put, hey, as soon as you go do something, everything that Esau do has interest on it. If you get 0%, it's going to be for a dispensation of time. It might be up to a year, but then it's going to have the changes. It's going to be like, after this year, it's going to go up to 25%. So he's going to make up the difference between the 1 year. If you ain't paid it off in 1 year, you went from 0% to 25%. You know what I'm saying? And then you be like, well, why is my bill thus?
Yeah.
They were like, did you see the back? It draw a red circle around it. Like, did you not see this? You know? Yeah.
You know, so that's how they get Jake, you know, because shoot, that's why they have to keep us in debt, because it keeps their system running.
Right.
As long as you got to show up to work, they always have a servant to keep their money going.
Right.
You know. Matter of fact, too, I want to pull this. Can you got your pocket for that?
Yeah, go ahead.
Let's go to First Maccabees chapter 10 and verse 28. This is proof, because you know our people ain't free. You got to understand. You know, just because you could buy, you know, whatever you want, so to say, that makes you free. No, you're still in captivity as long as you're paying taxes.
This is First Maccabees. This is First Maccabees chapter 10, verse 28. And will grant you many immunities.
Right. So there was a deal, and he struck up with it and said, look, I'm gonna give you many what?
Immunities.
Immunity. So these things aren't gonna affect you anymore. All right, which are what?
And give you rewards. And now do I free you, and for your sake I release all the Jews from the tributes.
For the tribute. So he said that he would free us, is the point. Showing you that you're not free. As long as you have to pay tribute or you have to pay tax to your enemy, you are not free. You're still a slave. And what was that in Baruch? We are yet this day in our captivity. Pull Matthew out, chapter 17 and verse 24. Go ahead, bro. I got it.
Come on, you got it. This is First Maccabees chapter 10, verses 29. And now do I free you, and for your sake I release all the Jews from tributes.
Go ahead.
And from the custom of salt, and from crown taxes.
What crown taxes? You see, hey, they don't want you to really know this type of stuff. See, when Esau, they damn near lost their mind. Hold on,
We good.
okay.
Keep going.
But yeah, Esau and them, they lost their mind when they got taxed over tea. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Oh, the what was it called?
Boston Tea Party.
Yeah, that's it. The Boston Tea Party, man. You know?
Do all the tea out into the sea.
Right, because you're trying to tax it on tea.
Yeah.
On tea. You know, you getting taxed over way more than tea nowadays, man. Let me tell you what. You know what I'm saying? So that's the thing. They understood that if we could tax these people, we could constantly make them to have to serve us. But the cutting off of that was when the war began. You know? And that's why they have to try and implement the chip. If they could put that chip in you, you're subject unto payments, man. You have to work, but you can't eat, you can't drink. You see? Let's pull this. This is Baruch chapter 3 and verse 8. It says, behold, we are yet this day in our captivity, where thou hast scattered us for a reproach and a curse, and to be subject to payments, according to all the iniquities of our fathers, which departed from Yahweh our God. So being subject to payments is proof that you're still a slave, man. And our people have accepted this as a norm. You know, other countries that they don't want to, they gonna hop back in the ship, right? Take a plane and go back home. All right, they ain't gotta work if they don't want to. They can go back home and hey, they gonna build up their kingdom. We have to. We ain't. Where we gonna go? Where we gonna go? You see? So us being here is you not understanding that you're a slave, man. And this knowledge will wake you up to that understanding. Like shit, every day we just a battery to the matrix, man.
That's right. Yeah. What's that? Psalms 51 and 7. Just real quick. You know, a lot of them gonna go back because hey, once that dollar drop, you know, they like the brother said, they can go back to their home country. Where does Israel go? Where is our home at? Even though we have a home, but like what they say, a bastard stays in there. You know?
Yep, bastard said go to Ashdod.
Yeah.
Saying that a lot of blacks live in trying to get citizenship and other countries.
Yeah, but it's never going to be their home because they don't even understand. Like, no matter where you go at, all the heathens is going to put their foot on your neck. That's why we bring out Psalms, what's that, 83 up? Yeah, Psalms 83. We bring it out because no matter, because you'll see videos all day long. Jacob be like, I thought if I went to Africa, that I'd be better off. And they're like, nah, they don't even have no love for us.
They know that we're not the same.
Right.
For that is the Chinese in Africa now. They got certain countries learning their culture, the Chinese culture. So they buying things in Africa.
Right. So the reason why they do, because they understand the Psalms 80. The Lord has given them, you know, the fruits of this earth for a dispensation of time. You know, we run that out with Revelation that the heathens understand they have a time where they're gonna have over you. That's why they're rushing to do all these things. You see all these leaders just moving, flying here, flying there, trying to pass laws because they understand their time is short, and they're trying to reverse the promise. You gotta have yeah, fine. Just real quick, it's the lateral part of it.
Yeah, Psalms 51:7, it says, purge me with hyssop, and I shall be clean.
So like Jeremiah 51.
This is Jeremiah chapter 51, in verse 7. And it reads, Babylon has been a golden cup in the Lord's hand that made all the earth drunken. The nations have drunken her wine, therefore the nations are mad.
They're mad, go ahead.
Babylon is suddenly fallen and destroyed. How for her? Take balm for her pain, if so she may be healed.
Right.
We would have healed Babylon, but she is not healed. Forsake her and let us go every one into his own country.
To his own country, go ahead.
For her judgment reaches unto heaven and is lifted up even to the skies.
Yeah, so as my brother said before, I ain't gonna say who he was saying it to, but he's like, it's best for them to go to their own country instead of being here.
Right.
Because they have a country, you know what I'm saying? They have a home. So it's better for them to go home rather than to be here.
And I would say that to the heathens, right? Or to the other nations that do believe what we saying. If you hear, I get the hell out. You know what I'm saying? I leave, man, because the prophecy already is set. that the judgment gonna take place. If you really believed and you knew that we was the Israelites and everything we saying is true, you get up out of here.
Get out of here.
You know?
From my own experience, man, one of my Uber drivers was a guy from, I forgot, I think he said he was Congolese, and he was like, people in Africa only come here to make money
Right.
and go back home.
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah, that was the point. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, all these nations do that. Like, we the only people that can't go back nowhere. That's why when you read the book of Revelations, it said all those that was on ships. So let's grab that.
Yeah, when you ain't eating this.
Let's pull Revelation chapter 18.
Yeah, I was about to say, yeah, that's 18. They eat deliciously, man.
Let's start at verse 7.
This is Revelation chapter 18, verse 7. How much she hath glorified herself and liveth deliciously.
That's everything we were just saying. She lives deliciously off of all our labors, man. And all the whole world comes, every nation flows to Babylon to do what? Make their money, send it back home. All right? That's why she's able to have the richest kingdom to exist at this moment, at this point in the moment. Go ahead.
So much torment and sorrow give her. And she said in her heart, I sit a queen and am no widow and shall see no sorrow.
That's it.
Yeah.
Speak on
Yeah, no, they feel that they don't see no sorrow. Because they're listening to eating off of Jake. And the other nations are doing what? They eating deliciously too and build it upon, Esau, bro. It says, it reads, much torment and sorrow give her, for she saith in her heart, I sit a queen and am no widow, and shall see no sorrow.
That's right.
Therefore shall her plagues come in one day,
That's right.
death and mourning and famine, and she shall be utterly burned with fire.
That's it. So her destruction is coming. What is her being burnt with fire? All these nations turn against her at once. All right. Thermonuclear destruction. Okay. You go to Isaiah 13, break that down. It says that they'll shoot their arrows at Babylon. Well, the modern day arrows, they're missiles, man. All right. That's why you got all this talk about nuclear armament. Like, that's the Lord doing that. The Lord stirring the nations up. Okay. So that everybody gonna shoot this bitch at once. Okay, let's keep going.
God. Shall her plagues come?
Right? This is real quick. And somebody get offended at what I just said. But the scriptures say a shameless and wicked woman shall be accounted as a dog, man. So America's a bitch.
God.
All right. She is a ungodly woman, man.
I feel like we the only people that say life's a bitch. Like,
Your life here,
yeah. The Jamaicans, they don't claim life is a bitch. You'll never hear no Europeans say nothing like that. That's living here in Belgium.
Because they don't have to live here. Once you come here and you stay here and you eat a little deliciously and you live here for a year, even a lot of the heathens come here for about a year and they like, I like the money, but they're tormented through their soul because to get the dainties of this world is constant grinding. Yeah. If you go to Africa or any of these countries, man, what do? You might work, but you ain't working to live. You know what I'm saying? Like America, you work to live. Whereas you go to another country, when you go to Europe, I think they have over like, I don't want to say how many days they have. They have their holidays in addition to PTO and all another day that they don't even work maybe 8 months.
Free healthcare, all that.
Yeah, free healthcare. They might work 8 months out of 12, but Esau, Babylon, you gonna work 13 months, man.
You know, damn near working every day.
Every day.
Shit.
Yeah, and brothers don't understand the 13 months, but the point is like, hey, they'll have you working 13 months thinking you're only working 12. You know?
God. Let's keep on rolling on that, bro.
It says, it reads, okay, verse 8, it continues, it says, her plagues come in one day, death and mourning and famine, and she shall be utterly burned with fire. For strong is the Lord our power, who judgeth her. And the kings of the earth, who had committed fornication and lived deliciously with her, shall bewail her and lament for her when they shall see the smoke of her burning.
That's it. So all the kings of the earth, it's gonna be a global event. You know, when you turn on the TV, breaking news, you know, America's being destroyed. You know what I'm saying? Like, everybody gonna see. How else can that prophecy come true? You know, it takes time to pass technology to get on this level. You know, it's gonna be on everybody's phone. When they turn on Facebook, it's gonna be America on fire, right? And everybody gonna lament. They all gonna be like, damn, this is crazy, you know? Let's keep on going.
God. It says, standing afar off for the fear of her torments, saying, alas, alas, the great city Babylon, the mighty city, for in 1 hour is thy judgment come.
So in 1 hour, America's gonna be destroyed. It ain't gonna take, you know, a 10-year battle to burn it down. No, that's why you gotta understand too. When you look at, you watch the news, and you keeping up to date with things. They got missiles that can get over here in 30 minutes. You know, they working on missiles that can get here just as quick every day. You know what I'm saying? So all the plagues is gonna happen in that hour. In that hour, that's when they're gonna be running around, you know, really trying to seek out the prophets, man. You know, because even before them missiles take off, they have warning systems. You know, they gonna have that channel come on and take cover in the bunker. This is Revelations chapter 6. I'm going to go to verse 13. And the stars of heaven fell unto the earth, even as a fig tree cast forth her untimely figs when she is shaken of a mighty wind. And the heaven departed as a scroll when it is rolled together, and every mountain and island removed out of their place. And the kings of the earth and great men and the rich men and the chief captains and the mighty men, and every bondman and every free man hid themselves in the dens and in the rocks of the mountains. So everybody gonna be trying to run to the bunker. You watch, it was Fallout, the TV show, first episode, man. You know, when the missiles started dropping, it was like, hey, we gotta run into the vault and hide. You know, that's the same thing that's gonna happen, all right? In that hour, it's gonna be all types of shit popping off, man. And the only people gonna be secure is the elect prophets, man. And this is why you have to build your faith up now. Because when the time comes, when the chariots start delivering the elect, if you wasn't in this knowledge, you're gonna get left behind. The scriptures say that the Lord gonna leave you here and melt you, man. Okay?
It came to mind when you said, when you pull out the Revelation 6 and 12, Bubba the shot, you know, they gonna want the rocks to fall on them.
That was the next verse.
Okay, come on.
Yep, this is Revelation chapter 6 in verse 12. Hold on. I'm gonna jump to verse 15. It says, and the kings of the earth and the great men and rich men, the chief captains and the mighty men and every bondman and every free man hid themselves in the dens and in the rocks of the mountains, and said to the mountains and rocks, fall on us and hide us from the face of him that sits on the throne and from the wrath of the Lamb. For the great day of his wrath is come, and who shall be able to stand?
So they standing and talking wolf tickets now, we say back in the days in the world. You know, they speaking the wolf tickets, but as the scripture says, they're gonna want the rocks to fall upon them. Huh? And then what was it say? What it said, the Lord on the throne, and then the Lamb, Yahweh Shah. They knew Yahweh Shai the only way. That's the reason why they're mentioning different things of the heavens. You know? See, that's Satan right there. Go ahead.
It says, for the great day of his wrath is come, and who shall be able to stand?
Right.
You know,
So that wrath is to come. Who's going to be able to stand? The power of the Lord. See, we always say the Lord is he held his tongue. What is that? Basically, he held his peace too long, man. You know why? No one having seen the Lord's wrath as the days of old. You know, the Lord said, "I hold my tongue no more." That's what it is. I hold my tongue no more. You know, why? It's because these people has been eating deliciously, chilling. Nothing happened to her. She's that virgin that never been touched. And this place ain't never been touched. So everywhere around the world, they done had the wrath. I mean, it's kind of like a person who's been down in their life all their life. And then once somebody on high falls, man, what they gonna do? Shit, they gonna be jumping for joy.
Yeah, they say that we gonna do that.
Yeah, go ahead.
You know, dang, I forgot what it was in Revelations, but he says that basically the righteous, the remnant, Revelations 11, Revelations 11, the last couple verses. Because when Babylon is destroyed, is when the elect get delivered. You know, then after that, it's the marriage supper where we go. You know, the chosen and everybody, we gonna go to war. It's gonna be the war to end all wars. You know, but Babylon will be destroyed first. Okay, so when the missiles coming down, that's when the elect going up. Revelations 11. What's this, 11 right here?
I got you in mind, yeah.
Salaki.
Might be 10. We'll see. But as a brother found it, you know, yeah, they've been eating deliciously for years. If someone's who's been at the bottom for a long period of time, man, they can't wait. They're you know, even all the nations really, you know, when you look at it, you know, they're tired of being really, really pimp, man. You know, really when you look at it, because even though these countries eat deliciously from us, they're still limited to what they can do from Esau, man.
So that's like with who was it when they was trying to when they started the war with over the oil, and trying to create his own economy with the oil, trying to rid themselves of having to pay America. Yeah, that's insane.
What's his name? Gaddafi, man.
Yeah,
they was all trying to, even when you look at the BRICS, man, everybody's trying to flee from this beast system, man. But you know, the Lord has it where there's only two heads, man. It's either gonna be Esau or it's gonna be Jacob, man. So they can try, that's what they all fight for, like positions, but the next position is gonna be with Jacob, man. Jacob's gonna have the next position. So they're all fighting in position to combat that. Who got the best economy, you know? Who can do this and who can do it? It don't matter what you can do. Because when the Most High bring wrath, that's it. We're only gonna have either Esau or Jacob. Go ahead.
Who's 11 and 12?
11 and 12.
But before Revelation 11 and 15.
Now this is Revelation chapter 11, verse 12. And they heard a great voice from heaven saying unto them, come up hither. And they ascended up to heaven in a cloud, and their enemies beheld them.
That's it. So, you know, it said when the Lord comes, that voice is say, come up hither. You know, so that's the miraculous deliverance of the elect, man.
Yeah.
You know, they gonna look up in the sky, see what they think is called UFOs. You know what I'm saying? And just see blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans then going up into the heavens, man. You know, that is what the scriptures say. Okay, let's keep on going, brother. What happens right after that?
Verse 13. In the same hour was there a great earthquake, and the 10th part of the city fell. And in the earthquake were slain of men 7,000.
Complete number. So he said, in that same hour, that's what's the crazy part too. You know, so the Lord gonna deliver us, man, before all these evils start to really just fall on this place heavy. You know? And let's pull that 15 and 1 whenever you get the chance, bro.
Revelations 15 and 1. And I saw another sign in heaven, great and marvelous, 7 angels having the 7 last plagues, for in them is filled up with the wrath of God. And I saw as it were a sea of glass mingled with fire, and them that had gotten the victory over the beast, and over his image, and over his mark, and over the number of his name, stand on the sea of glass, having the harps of God, and they sing the song of Moses, the servant of God, and the song of the Lamb, saying, Great and marvelous are thy works, Lord God Almighty, just and true are thy ways, thou King of saints. Who shall not fear thee, O Lord, and glorify thy name? For thou only art holy, for all nations shall come and worship before thee, for thy judgments are made manifest.
So everybody gonna actually see the judgments of the Lord come true. You know, so it comes by way of the destruction of this place. We're gonna be sanctified in the eyes of the heathen, that the Most High was actually dealing with us, man. And everything that we said came to pass, you know. So that's us standing upon that sea of glass mingled with fire, you know, ultimately going into the lake of fire. But all these things is our victory over this place. But I think that might be it, bro. You got anything else you want to go into?
That's it. You see the time?
Yeah, so we been rolling 2 hours.
Yeah.
Let me see.
That's a pre-camp.
yeah. All right, so we're going to get ready for the second lesson, man. That was good, man.
Yeah, I think we good.
So, you know, Lord willing, man, that was edifying to you brothers and you sisters. Till next time, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Heavenly Father.
Yahweh, Bashim, Yahushua, Bashim, Kakadash.
Shalom.
Shalom.